All right, here we are. The first of the bi-weekly shows here. Show number 350, April 4th, 2021. Posted the link. So hopefully you guys can see that and join and talk a little photography and other stuff, whatever stuff there is to talk about. You can do that. And busy couple of weeks. I'm glad I switched to bi-weekly because it's been the last 2 weeks have been extremely busy, and next week looks to be just as busy. So kind of into a new normal, I guess, is what it looks like as far as work for me, which is good. But just taking up a little more time and trying to fit that in with the other stuff that I'm doing. So every other week I think is going to be the will be the plan here for at least a while. So we'll see if anybody else joins in here. We are solidly into spring now. Everybody, I think, is on daylight saving. I think the UK was it last week. Everybody over in the UK went on daylight saving. So now everybody is 5 hours ahead of us now. So 11 o'clock there. In the UK, there was a week or so where we're only 4, and Joe is 3 hours behind on the Pacific Standard. Is that or Mountain Standard? I can't remember which one. Phoenix, I think it's Mountain Standard. They're 3 hours behind us, and then UK and Europe is 5 hours and 5 hours. Yes, 5 hours. 5 hours or 6 hours for Europe, and 5 hours for UK. So it was we're solidly into spring here. Pollen season is definitely upon us here. We've had just that nice yellow sheen on everything. It's been fantastic. It's been fantastic. Pollen everywhere. We had rain that knocked it down, and then it came back. So we had a break for about 12 hours and came back. So, hey, James.
Good evening. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Got a look pretty. Hang on.
Oh, you look fabulous.
Did you have a nice Easter Sunday?
Yeah, regular Sunday. Nice day though. It was nice and sunny. Although the pollen is back in with a vengeance here. We've got the pine pollen. You guys have you get a lot of pine pollen up there from all the pine trees?
Well, I don't suffer from it, but
yeah, I don't really either. A little bit, not terrible. I notice it, but it's not terrible for me. So, but it's everywhere. I mean, I go outside and come back, and there's a coating of yellow on the watch and on my shoes and all of that. So I think we have maybe a couple more weeks of that here, and then we should be through the worst of pollen season. So good weather though. So did you guys get a bunch of storms last week? All those tornadoes and everything that came through?
It wasn't storms, weren't too bad.
Not too bad? Okay, good. Yeah, we had quite a bit, a lot of rain, and we predicted to have some tornadoes, but we didn't have any, which was good. But we did get a good couple inches of rain on, was it Wednesday? Tuesday?
I did send an email to Dennis saying we're on tonight.
Okay, great. Thank you. It's been super busy. It's been kind of crazy, which is good. It's a good thing for me, but man, yeah, it's picked up quite a bit. I haven't done much other than working and taking my normal breaks to do the stuff around the house that I need to do. So I guess that's good. So you've been working with Dennis on images the last couple weeks?
Yes, what I wanted to do is I wanted to learn about HDR. I never really got into that before.
Okay.
This week, my focus was HDR, and I got a terrific picture. You'll see it later on, but I'll show you now.
Okay.
There.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. I just noticed. I just opened up the.
Well, that's the leaf. The branch here. It comes out here, and these go up here.
Okay.
But like I'm always cropping stuff because this is the picture I wanted. This is the story here. The leaves out here and leaves up there don't say nothing, but now, right there is where I liked.
Yep. So this is the. I guess it is HDR. I guess Yep. So not too aggressive though. I mean that's
not too aggressive. No.
Yeah.
In fact.
But it does a good job of bringing out the the shadows and all of that. So
yeah, I liked it, and I sometimes I just stood still with it when I took the picture of that. What my focus was this week was HTML to learn how to do it because I'm watching a photographer go around the house. He's a professional photographer, and he get his camera and then put it in the corner, check it, get his remote control, press, get the camera, move it to the next corner, remote control. He made it seem so easy.
Yeah. Now, was he doing HDR stuff?
Yeah, he was doing 3EV.
Okay. So
you got the middle one.
+3, -3.
You got the middle one, then you got +3, then -3.
Okay. And the cameras can be set up to do that. You're able to do that on your Olympus. You know that, right?
Oh, yeah, I did it.
Okay.
That's what I've been saying. I've been working on all week.
Yep.
But I wrote to him and I said to him, I don't see you using, like your, what did I say to him? Let me see if I got the email. Something about his flash. I don't see you using the focus. Let's see.
Oh. So he must have a wide angle lens on the camera.
Yeah, the wide angle lens was pretty good.
Yeah. For indoor real estate stuff.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think.
Huh. Yeah, that's I've got a friend here in Atlanta who is does real estate photography. Yeah, and it's all.
Wait a minute. It's funny, right? Because we're on camera, right, for this, but I've gone to Google or YouTube to look at the guy's thing, and guess who's one of the guests on Google?
Who? Oh, yeah.
You and me.
Yeah, it's got took the little thumbnail. Yeah, that's the thumbnail for the. Hey, Coach, hanging out in Idaho up there. Did you go fishing today? I guess as you did. You went fishing yesterday, so hopefully got out in the boat again today. And we want pictures of the fish, Coach. Got to catch fish and take pictures of it. So that so the real estate photographer does all this stuff in HDR then.
Oh yeah, I'm just gonna bring up something.
Now does he do? Hey Dennis. Hello.
How you doing?
Good. We're just talking HDR. Your cousin has discovered HDR here.
Yeah, he's working on me. He's working with me than that. But see, I sent this guy an email saying it was a pleasure watching you swiftly move from one room to the next. My question is, could you please explain your focusing? So he said, thanks again, James, for focusing. Then he put down here, his focus was autofocus set to wide. So autofocus, I would imagine, when he presses it, it automatically focuses for him. And wide means he's got the lens wide open, so he's got the wide angle.
Yeah, I would think if it's a wide angle lens, he's probably if it's a wide enough lens, it's probably hyperfocal. So he doesn't really need to do much with it. Yeah.
You still got to press the button to focus.
Yeah. Well, if it's on autofocus, it would probably do it, but if the lens is hyperfocal, then it doesn't doesn't matter.
It
So you
has-
press the button, it focuses because it's always going to be in focus, and then it goes through and then takes the three bracketed shots automatically. Right?
Well, he'll set the camera up.
Yeah.
Right. Look at the view, just the camera that way. Stand back, click his remote control, click, 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 and move off to the next one.
Yeah.
It was that fast.
Yeah.
Is it on his remote control? The first click is your focus. The second
Probably. Yeah.
picture.
Probably pushes it down half away. It focuses, and that's why he steps away because it's such a wide angle lens. He doesn't want to get caught in the. He doesn't want to have his toes. He doesn't want to have his feet show up in the bottom of the image.
Hey Dennis, that photographer replied to me. He said after I asked him the question, he said autofocus set to wide. So all I can think of is when it's autofocus, when he presses that button, it focuses. You press it again, it takes a picture. And wide means it's got the widest length on the lens to get the whole room.
Yes, that's what I said to you. If you put your lens on 12mm, that's equivalent to 24 mil. You shouldn't have to focus. You shouldn't have to get your camera to focus at all. If you set your aperture at f8, it's just going to take your picture and everything will be clear.
Yeah.
You got to take the picture. You got to click something to take the picture, and that's when he's using his remote control. So I would have thought when he used his remote control, that takes the focus plus takes the picture as well.
Yeah, see, I haven't got any automatic lenses, so I just set my lens to hyperfocal focus. Which
Yeah.
Put the infinity sign on f8, and that's all you got to do. If you've got it aperture priority, then it'll automatically adjust the speed to correct it.
Yeah. See, he's probably using a autofocus lens. So if it's a wide angle lens, yeah, probably the remote halfway down focuses, and then you push all the way down, then it goes through and
That's the way I'm looking at
actuates the shutter. Yeah.
it. But it was a short answer. Real one line. Autofocus set to white. Bang.
What kind of camera does he use?
Sony.
Sony.
It
Okay.
was a Sony. What's that? A7 III with Tamron 17 to 28.
That's why. Tamron 17 to 28 set on 17. That's a full frame camera.
Yeah,
So
yeah, everything will be in focus. Can't go
everything
wrong.
will be on focus. So that's
You gotta
probably,
take the picture.
yeah, you still got to take the picture, but
Right.
but the lens is such on that camera that everything's in focus.
It's not going to have to autofocus anything because it'll
Yeah.
always be in focus.
So maybe when he says autofocus set to wide, maybe wide is a setting for a wide angle lens,
Right.
which assumes that it's that it's
Yeah.
already in focus. Just that there is no.
Well,
doesn't
he moves from room to room as well.
Yeah.
He
So what he does then is he probably takes all those images, and then does whatever processing he does for the HDR, and then crops them and
he does that in another video.
okay.
Yeah.
And does he link them all together so you can go all the way around? Like if you're in one of the houses that he photographs, can you do use your mouse and do like a spin 360 view?
No, I can't because it's a video. I'm just watching his video.
Okay. So no, but when he photographs a house, so
He
does
just walks the next. He grabs
Yeah.
say this is his camera in stand. He grabs it, moves over here, puts it down, checks everything, moves it to size up the room, steps away, click on his remote control. Then he's off to the next one.
Yeah. So when in the final product, when he processes all those images and uploads them to whatever realtor site he works with,
Yeah.
and you go into that home that he photographed on the realtor site and kind of drag and get a 360. I'm wondering if he's just doing that and then pasting them all together.
What he was saying was
software to give a 360 or 180 panorama or
he
something
does
like
do
that.
videos as well.
Okay.
But on this one, he was stacking them as with pictures. So he's stacking them, then he would just adjust them a little bit and that. And then when they were ready, he created DNGs. When they were ready, he sent them off to the realtor.
Okay. Yeah. So he's stacking the HDR.
You're interested in it? His name's Jordan Nielsen. It's very interesting how he does it.
Yeah. No. So yeah, he's just taking 3 images 0 EV plus 3 minus 3, stacks them, processes it together, and creates the crops it or whatever he does, and then just creates the DNG and sends it to the real estate company, and then they just load. They probably have a template they load it up into for each house.
Because my question to him was, I did not notice how you focus for each shot in the various rooms.
Yeah.
How did you focus? Did you use zone focusing? Could you please explain your focusing? Thank you again for an excellent video. Then he replied, autofocus set to white. That's it.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, it's probably because your automatic lenses haven't got the scale on. The modern lenses, they don't put the hyperfocal
there
scale
isn't
on.
a focusing scale on them. Yeah.
No.
So it's probably, set to wide with that particular lens is probably hyperfocal.
Yeah, because my lenses are all manual focus and they're all like off of film cameras and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I've got the scales. The scales used to be on the old lenses, and they are on the very expensive modern lenses as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but they're normally only on wide angles because hyperfocal focusing only works under 35 millimeter, really.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. So I would think if he's got a Tamron 17 to 28, the 17 on a full frame camera, that's going to be hyperfocal. Yeah. So he doesn't have to worry about focus. As long as he sets it up and orients at what he wants to get in a shot, he's good. Yeah. Which is a great way of doing it, because it works perfect, because a wide angle lens, you want to have, you're in tight confines in a room, kitchen or living room of a house. You want to be able to get a good view. So you need a wide angle lens. So why not do it in such a way that it's wherever you put the camera, it's going to be in focus. Then you don't have to worry about it. Then you're just lining up the perspective, and then a lot easier.
You should watch it. So quick. You just gets the camera stand, moves it to this corner, just adjust it a little bit, stands back, click. That's how fast he was.
Yeah. No, he's just.
When I put my 15mm lens on my Sony camera, I never focus it ever. I just set it up for hyperfocal because there's no need to. You just
set it on infinity and off you go. Yeah, anything within probably 4 or 5 inches is in focus.
No, I think it's anything from a few feet in front of you to infinity is going to be in acceptable focus.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you were focusing on something specific, then it's better to focus the lens on it.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, if you come down with the F numbers, then your depth of field's going to change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But no, that's probably what he's doing. He just figured out a way to, it's very efficient for him to go through. He gets good quality images. Doing the HDR gives him a way to compensate for shadows, which is the big thing. That the HDR, it allows you to, get that bigger range, so you can pull out the shadows and show the detail in there for the the darker parts of the room. And
you watch one photographer do these houses, right? And you watch another one, and what this one tells you to do differently. Then another one comes in and he says do something differently. It's like whatever works for you.
Yeah. They all have their particular whatever they found works for them. Yeah, it's just like portrait. Well, any photographer, any kind of photography, like Pat on the car photography. He does it a lot different than what a lot of other people do. The way he approaches it, and that's what works for him. Joe on his portrait photography. Yeah. So
we the only ones watching this week?
What's that?
Are we the only ones here this week?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was going through Facebook real quick today, because I almost never go on Facebook, and I noticed that Wes posted something about. Did you hear anything? He had saw something about he had a job interview he thought went really well, and he heard something. I haven't seen it.
He thinks he did work very well, but he's still waiting for it to get back to him.
Good. Yeah. Hopefully he has a good result there.
I'm fed up with Canon. I'm going Sony.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He says I'm done with Canon. I'm changing to Sony, but he done it on April the 1st.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I said you're nuts.
That's pretty good. Yeah. No, I was watching not photography related, but audiophile stuff, on stereo, hi-fi, and a guy posted a video and I didn't even realize it was April 1st, but the title of his video was what was it? Oh, Plants for Hi-Fi. So it was about that he has different plants in his listening room. Some plants, I've got this plant over here because it helps my bass. It's my bass plant because the shape of the leaves. And then I've got my mid-range plant over here. And it, so I was like, wait a minute. Oh, it's April Fool's. I was thinking, wait a minute. But, audiophiles are crazy enough to do stupid stuff like that,
Did they do the April Fool's film in America about NASA?
No.
They found some secret tapes that NASA had landed on Mars, and man had been to Mars, and it was all top secret.
Oh.
And they blew the whistle on them, and it was on the TV, like an hour-long program of landing on Mars' surface, walking about.
It was on your. I was on your TV.
Yeah, it was on the TV, but it was a few years ago. But they done it on April the 1st.
I don't remember seeing anything like that, but
yeah, it was done quite well. It looked like the moon landings, like the real McCoy.
Yeah. Well, the moon landing was done on a soundstage in Hollywood. You know that.
Yeah, of course, it never occurred. Yeah. Did you see the alien autopsy from? They captured the alien and they were giving him an autopsy. See how he works. But it was supposed to have been from your top secret place in the desert. And
Area 51.
Area 51, yeah. And the doctors doing the operation on the alien. In the background, on the side, was a telephone, and the cord on the telephone was a coiled cord.
Mm-hmm.
And they come out to like 5 years after this is supposed to have taken place. so they blew it,
Yeah. It's amazing what people will put together and what people will fall for too. I mean,
I was watching a couple of videos about Nikon and Olympus, and they were saying Olympus is, obviously we all know is going under, and Nikon's going under as well. But they was also saying about the cameras, the digital cameras are going sinking because of the iPhones that are taking over.
No, for most people, the iPhone is a good enough camera.
Yeah.
I said to my sister the other day, I'm looking at my camera and I don't know everything about it, but it took me 3 months to go through it, to adjust things, listening to other people that know the camera. And I said, I still can't remember what I did. And now I'm learning more stuff that I didn't know before. There's so much in it. And I said, no wonder why people say, oh, to hell with that, I'll just buy one of these. Yeah. I mean, that's the probably 95% of people just, use a camera just to, snapshots, what we would call snapshots, just document whatever going on. And the stuff in the phones now is good enough for probably 95% of those people. So that's why digital cameras don't really, the market for them is shrinking a lot. Well, the only two, if someone said to me, what camera should I get? It's either Sony or Canon. Yeah.
It's down to those two now.
Or Leica.
Yeah.
Don't forget, Leica's got full frame.
Yeah. If you've got a lot of extra money hanging out in your bank account,
if you've got 10 grand, don't buy the camera, then you've got to buy the lens for it.
Yeah. So no, it's shrunk down. Olympus has going away. Nikon is pretty much going away. I mean, the cameras will still be around, but there's not going to be any new models coming out from there.
Well, they still have service for those who already have the cameras.
Yeah.
But
that'll last a few years.
Nikon, and it's gone right down like that, and the sales of the smart camera has gone right up.
Yep.
Don't forget, you still got your film cameras out there. They still sell brand new film cameras.
They do. Yeah. But all that, there's the professional photographers, obviously a phone, although a lot of professional photographers can do really good images with with iPhones because they know what they're doing. I mean, they know how to compose a shot and lighting and all that. But the market, that's a really small, even though we think there's a lot of people doing it, because we're into it. It's not compared to the whole market. It's just a tiny fraction of people that are geeks on photography, either professionals or hobbyists. And film is, I mean, even though it's grown tremendously compared to what it was, it's still even a small percentage of that. So
film has made a big comeback, really, because film companies are actually starting to remanufacture film.
Mm-hmm.
There's even new film come out. Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, it's a niche, but it's a growing niche, but it's never going to get to what it was. That's for sure.
Yeah. You've only got to look at eBay's prices on film equipment.
Mm-hmm.
A few years ago, I was picking stuff up for nothing.
Can't do that anymore.
For a $2,000 and larger. Now it's all out the window. Now you're going to pay big money for the stuff.
Yeah. No, it's kind of caught up, but yeah, I mean, it's a vibrant market, but it's a small market. Remember Kodak? I mean, back in the the 70s and 80s, all the disposable cameras, the instant cameras. There was a new cameras. Canon, Nikon, Pentax. They would come out with new cameras at least once a year. Sometimes twice a year, and because that's the only way that there wasn't. If people wanted photographs, that's all they had. There wasn't, there weren't phones, with cameras in them. And so when digital first came out, film was kind of going, starting to go away because digital came in and it wanted on phones. So people that wanted cameras were buying digital cameras because that's all that there was. And then a few years, when was that basically 2000, 2001, when digital cameras really started grabbing market share from film. And so they had about a 6 or 7, 8 year run there. And then the iPhone came out. Out 2010, 2009, 2000. That's when the smartphone came out. And the first iPhone had a good, comparatively, a pretty good camera.
Now, has Joe commented about his iPhone, saying how good it is or what?
He likes it. And he says it's for the type of stuff he does, if he's just out and about working or whatever, or eat, food photography, does a really good job. You've got to have good lighting and that type of thing.
Other photography, like portraits and that, does he still do that?
He does, but he's been working so much the last year or so. And with the pandemic, obviously that cut back on the, being able to do it. I think he wants to get back into doing more of it, but it'll probably be next year, I would imagine.
Right.
But yeah, that's obviously something you can't really do with your iPhone, but normal stuff. He does really good images with his iPhone, and it's a great camera. So that's why Olympus and Nikon are going away. There's just not enough demand for three. Well, you got Sony, Canon. Yeah, there's not enough demand for 4 companies doing full-fledged professional full-frame cameras. There's not enough demand for it.
Fuji said they won't be building a full-frame camera. I wonder if they're going to stick to it, because their cameras are quite good, but they're still APS and it.
Yeah, there's still 1.5, I think.
1.6, something like that.
Yeah, probably not. They'll probably they've got a good reputation. They've got good quality equipment, but I just don't know. Is there enough market demand for another company making another full? All the R&D, unless they buy Nikon stuff and put it in there. I don't know.
Yeah, well, we know that Nikon company's got a Sony image in it.
Yeah, it's a Sony chip. Yeah, Nikon really hasn't done anything new on their own in a number of years anyway. Canon and Sony have been the innovators.
Yeah,
and Nikon has just kind of taken, they've kind of outsourced the sensor and then built their own firmware around that, but they haven't been making their own sensors. So,
I did have a look at the Leica Q. Is it the new full frame digital camera they brought out?
okay.
It's got the fixed lens. You can't change. It's not interchangeable lens.
Okay.
Yeah, but for Leica, I think it's around $5,000 to buy it. But of course, that's with the lens.
Yeah.
And the lens is a really super quality Leica lens.
Mm-hmm. Let me
Yeah.
show screen. I looked at that a little bit. This is the one, right? Let's see which. This is it, right? This one.
Yeah, Leica Q, waterproof as well, isn't it? Yeah.
Q2. It says accept nothing but perfection. So it has a what?
35
47 megapixel, 28 millimeter.
It's really high resolution, isn't it?
Wow. So it's a fixed 28 millimeter 1.7.
Yeah, but I think you can switch it to emulate a 35 mil.
Huh. Now wait a minute. It's integrated digital zoom. Okay, so it's got an integrated zoom that goes up to 75. So it's a 2 3/4 zoom. It looks like at digital, integrated digital zoom. So
Yeah. It's just going to crop your photograph for you.
yeah, basically that's what it is.
Yeah.
That's essentially what it's doing. So
It's probably going to work though at 47 megapixel. You're not even going to notice. Yeah.
yeah, 47 fixed focal length, 4K video at 30 or 24 frames a second. Yeah, it looks nice. Now the question is how much? Online store. Let's see. The L. Oh, that's the L. SL2. I want the Q2. There we go. Best sellers. How much? $69.95.
Wow.
You can buy a few of them.
That makes the bar. Yeah, that makes the Sony a real bargain.
Yeah, you can buy 2 of the latest Sony for that. The body about $3,100 for the brand new one.
Yeah, and all my lenses will fit it.
Yeah. Oh, and this is you can get a low. Oh, this is a limited edition. This is the Daniel Craig and Greg Williams setup. It's got look at that special color. See, it's got the lug, the brass.
Right.
Talking about the actor.
What's that?
You said Daniel Craig. Is that the actor?
I don't know.
Or is he some photographer?
A limited edition, exclusive model, limited to 750. Collaboration with the award-winning actor Daniel Craig and Greg Williams, one of Britain's most renowned photographers. Huh. High single speed. Yeah. So that's the limited edition one. So I'm assuming the other one is probably only 5,000.
I think when I looked it up, it was about $5,000 to buy pounds, so it might be a bit dearer in dollars.
Okay, the regular Q2 is $54.95.
There you go.
They have a monochrome. What's that deal there? That's $6,100. Monochrome sensor. So you pay an extra $800 for a monochrome.
Black and white only, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Huh.
Yeah, but they do a monochrome Leica, don't they? And that's dearer than a color chip.
Mm-hmm. $61.95 for that. Just the base is $5,500.
So I have to give it a lot of thought whether I get a new Sony or whether I get one of these.
Yeah. This would be nice. I mean, this would be I'm sure it takes great images.
Buy both.
Buy both, yeah.
Just in case.
Just in
You
case.
never know.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah, well, I might as well get a Leica M10 and I can compare all three.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, aren't you a Boy Scout? Were you in Boy Scouts?
Yeah, yeah, I was in the
You know,
Scout.
there you go. Be prepared. It's a Boy Scout motto. You can never have too many cameras. Oh, they got the leather. Oh, leather. Oh, you get that. The leather camera protector for $220.
Oh, it's not bad. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's a nice looking camera, but I don't know, $5,500. Wow.
Yeah.
Before someone buys a camera now, they really got to think about the company, not just the camera. Is
Yeah.
it going to be stable in the next few years?
Mm-hmm. Yep. You would have thought that Nikon would have been, well, maybe. I mean, it's been obviously for the last few years as far as they haven't really come out with stuff. So maybe that's all, it seems like that's always an indication that things aren't going real well.
If you want to be absolutely sure of buying your new camera that you want service in the next few years, then it'll have to be a Leica.
Yep.
Yep, because Leica can service and repair any camera they've ever made all the way back to the beginning.
Yep.
They've got spare parts.
Yep. Yep. Well, that's part of what you pay for.
Yeah.
So here you go, Dennis. I think you need this.
Yeah. What's this? F1.2 Leica?
0.95 50.
Yeah. 13 grand. 13 grand.
It outperforms the human eye, is what they say.
All right. Well, so that Noctilux is what was the focal length? 50
millimeter.
50 millimeter. Yeah. I expect it's a very good lens, but
yeah,
how much better will it be than against my Voigtlander 50 millimeter?
I don't know. Focusing range 1 meter to infinity. The weight, how much is the weight? 700 grams. So
yeah, now 50, you say 1 meter minimum focus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, straight away, you're going to have to put Sony helical extension on it.
Viewfinder, yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to focus on anything less than a meter away from where you are.
Yeah.
3 foot minimum distance.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's a 50 millimeter lens. 73 millimeter filter mount E60 with accessory filter. Yeah. 12,795.
It's going to have really good blurred out background.
Yeah. Well, yours is a 9.5, isn't it? Isn't yours?
No, mine's my Voigtlander is a f1.2.
1.2. Okay.
Yeah, I mean this is 0.95 at full frame.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's probably going to weigh the same as a London bus. You know?
Mm-hmm. So there's F2. There's a 125. Oh, this is 75 millimeter for $15,000.
Yeah, Leica lenses are supposed to last your lifetime and your children's and your grandchildren.
Oh, better for $16,395.
Yeah.
So there it is. So this is the spherical and the 1.2 chrome limited edition. So that's worth an extra couple $1,000. It's probably the same length. Well, it's a 1.2.
Yeah. See, now that's exactly the same focal length and.
Yep.
As my Voigtlander, but the Voigtlander brand new is around about $1,000.
Yeah. Yeah. So you just wonder what the real.
Yeah.
Is it 16 times better? Probably not.
No, it's probably 90% or 95% of what this is.
Yeah. Yep. Which is probably more than good enough for just about every use case. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's Steve Huff, who's on the internet, does all the reviews, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. He's
a Leica fanboy.
Yeah.
But he buys Voigtlander lenses for the cameras.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because it's like you said, 90% of the performance for 1/10 the price.
Yeah. He said that the camera's lovely. He loves his Leica cameras, but
yeah.
You know, he says even as a professional photographer, he's not in a position to buy these kind of lenses.
Yeah, that is. So which is the best after the Q? Which other one?
Well, the M10 is but the latest one, isn't it?
M cameras.
Yeah, M10.
M10 is 89.95. No, that's lights. M10 black, $8,000.
Yeah, so it's $8,000 for the body only, and 16 grand for the lens.
Wow. So
Yeah.
24,000, 25,000. Well, then you got to buy, the carrying, it's 25 grand. It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
buying a car.
You got to have the leather case for it, obviously.
Yeah. Well, that's only a few $100. Yeah.
But they are dangerous cameras though, because if you've got one of them hanging around your neck, you're going to get killed and someone's going to steal it.
Yeah, it's true. It is. It's a very conspicuous brand.
Yeah,
So
you
anybody that knows what that is, yeah, it does make you a little bit of a target, probably.
Yeah, you can order your Leica camera with a black dot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because the red dot just gives them away.
Yeah.
The red dot is mug me. I've got a really expensive camera on.
Yeah, I could see that, especially if you were a tourist and going somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be the same as walking around the dark streets of London on a winter's night wearing a Krugerrand necklace,
Yeah. Rob me, please. Yeah. No, they are. There's nothing, nothing, for sure. They're good. They're good cameras, but they are a luxury purchase, pure and simple.
Yeah, you can get one on eBay, but they still go, I think M10s are still around about $3 grand second hand.
Okay. Yeah.
So it would be nice to have one to play with and just see how good it is.
Yeah. What are they? Are they 32? What's what is 24 megapixel full frame?
Yeah.
ISO from 100 to 50,000.
Yeah, they're not very good compared with the new electronic cameras out now.
Yeah. 150,000 or whatever. Yeah.
Well, they all swear by them though. They all reckon they've just got that look on the picture that you just can't get with any other camera.
Yeah. Well, it's probably true, but is it really worth that? I mean, if you got the income, why not? I mean, it's
how you're photographing. I mean, say going back to that guy with the interior photographs, and I looked at his camera. It's like 3,000 or something. It totaled up about $5,000, right? So if I was to go into that and I pay an investment of $5,000, how long is it going to take me to get that money back?
I don't know how much he charges to do. It all depends how much he charges.
Well, yeah.
I gotta imagine it's probably a couple $100. I don't know.
There's one around the corner. They charge $250, which I didn't think is a lot.
Well, $250. So that's 20
different
20 shoots to make your money back. Yeah.
You can't compare the $250 to this guy on the video because he's more professional. Does bigger house.
So I wonder what he charges. So he probably charges $200 to $300. I mean, something like that. I mean, I don't know what the market is for.
No, I think he charges more than that.
Okay. Does he do more high-end houses? Does he do
big houses?
Okay. Yeah. So maybe he charges $500.
The thing is,
that'd only be 10 shoots, and he pays. He's got the cost of
videos as well.
Yeah. So no, I mean, that's a lot of money, but for equipment, I mean, that's like if you're a plumber, you got to buy a truck to drive around and do
that. You pay it and do away with it, but if you're just looking at it to learn. No.
Oh no. That's he gets to write it off and all that stuff, and he still has to pay. Yeah, it's still a big outlay, but comparatively, it's not. He doesn't have to open up a. He doesn't have to have a storefront. So he doesn't have to pay rent for an office or anything like that. That people need to come into. He goes to he goes to the job site with his camera. So
they're saying that house photography is really growing. A lot of houses are being sold, and they want these house pictures taken.
Oh yeah, no, it's especially now, and they're demanding. I know the friend I have here in Atlanta, he does was doing still images, but about a year or so, he started doing video. 360.
Yeah.
He'd go in and do the images, but then he'd also do a video at the same time, like a 4K video. And I don't know what camera he uses for video, but he does good stuff. I mean, and he's doing more mid to higher end. He's not doing super high end, but he's doing kind of what would be like the, step up home for people. So here in Atlanta, that might be like a, $400,000 to $750,000 home, that type of thing. He's not doing the over $1 million. He does a few, but his most is kind of that second home, not a starter home, but the next one.
He's not doing the projects.
Yeah. Yep. He's not doing the projects, and he's not doing the Beverly Hills. He's doing, the middle. The people that are, they're going to pay $750,000, two professionals that are want to buy a $750,000 house.
I asked the realtor, who pays for that, and she said the realtor pays for it. Comes out of their commission.
Yeah. Part of that 6% they charge. Yeah. No, but if you get a 6% commission on a $500,000 home, that's what, $30,000. Typically, you split that half and half with the buyer's agent, so that leaves you $15,000, and then you got to pay your marketing. So they probably make $5,000 to $10,000.
Plus, you have to give half to your broker.
Yeah, depending, or some people are their own broker. So
that's the Remax.
Yeah. It's probably half to your broker, or unless you're a really good agent, you can negotiate a better split. You keep a higher percentage.
Do you remember, Mark? A few years ago, we looked at that face. It was Rachel the cat, I think her name was, wasn't it? The large format. She was charging like $1,000, $1,500 for each image.
Wow. Yeah.
Well, that's with a film camera.
Yeah.
How set up you are, but I mean, she's done lovely images. She was out in the European mountain ranges with the snow down, I think. That's
that the one you told me about a few months ago?
Yeah. Superb photographs, definitely. But
and was she doing 8x10? Is that what she was doing?
No, she was doing 4x5, I think.
4x5. Okay.
And she was also using like Mamiya 7s, the medium format. Yeah, well, we're assuming it's her. So with a name like Rachel the cat, it might not be. It's just
okay, so she was using the medium format film camera too.
Yeah. And the large format. I think it was 4x5. I'm not sure if she'd done any 8x10s, but I mean they're massive, aren't they? I mean that's you ain't gonna waste a film with that.
No, that's. But yeah, I mean it's she's got a following. A lot of people like her photography, so she's got a platform. A lot of people follow her, and they're good. They're high quality images, and people are willing to pay for it. So, yeah, you buy that $750,000 home, James, and then you put $1,000 picture of the mountains in your hallway, and there you go.
Great.
Yeah,
sure.
And you can do that with a large format camera because it won't even look grainy.
Yeah.
You can have it the size of the wall.
Yeah, you could take a nice landscape and blow it up to a 20x40 or 30x50, and take up all that dead space you got on that long entry hallway in your big house.
Yeah, I've done a pub when I was an apprentice. We done a pub in Victoria in London. The whole wall of the pub, right the way through, was the embankment and the River Thames.
Oh, I bet that looked nice.
Wow.
Yeah, they had like false balustrade, and where you sat and drank your beer was like a beer garden with tables and chairs.
Okay.
We done the lighting for it, and at night we had blue fluorescent lighting above, and it made the scene look night. And in the daytime, it was white lighting, which made it look a daytime.
Oh.
Yeah, but the photographers came in, and they had taken photographs along by the Houses of Parliament, and And they said on the thing on the wall, it said that this is a view you can never get because you don't get that view. If you go down to the side of the River Thames, you can only see a certain amount of it. Where they were in all of the river, which you would never get that as one view. And they wallpapered the black and white pictures.
Okay.
Stitched them all together right through the pub.
Oh, wow.
And then income guys, I didn't pay much attention at the time, but income guys, and they had little spray guns, right, and they coloured it in. It was a black and white photograph on the wall.
And then they colorized it.
They colorized it all the way through. And it must have cost an absolute fortune, but it was the thing for the pub, like, you know.
Wow. That's a lot of work.
Professional.
Is the pub still there, Dennis?
It was right on the corner of Victoria Railway Station, you know.
Huh.
Can't remember.
Hopefully it survived. Hopefully it survived the pandemic.
Yeah, well, it was owned by Watney Man because that's where we was working for the beer company. In the 60s, they done this really, the middle of the 60s, they were getting rid of all the pub rooms where people used to have their wedding receptions upstairs and all the rest.
Okay. Yeah.
They would turn them into discos.
Okay.
Yeah, and they was all black light, black walls, fluorescent paint.
Okay. Yeah.
We was putting black lights in, you know, ultraviolet lighting and stuff, you know. So it was a good time. We was converting them all. I suppose now they're all converted to restaurants.
Yeah. It's you just have to change based on what's popular. They got to keep people coming in. So now, speaking of, have they relaxed the restrictions there? Are you?
We're allowed to meet in the gardens. You still can't have anybody come around your house.
Okay.
But I think next month the shop's open. The 12th of. No, actually, I think the 12th of this month the shops are open.
Okay, so next week. Yeah.
But the restaurants are not. I think they got to wait for another into May before you're allowed to eat indoors. You know, go into a restaurant. Otherwise, you've got to eat outside. Yeah.
Huh.
Are your cinemas opening up soon, Mark?
They are, I think. Yeah, I think here in Georgia they are pretty much going back to normal. In
this weekend, some of them have, but the one close to me goes back to normal on the 14th.
Yeah, I think ours is next week, maybe the 9th or the 10th. So, which
is the infection rate come down then?
It's going up in some states, and it's mostly among young people because the ones that haven't been vaccinated yet.
Yeah.
So it's going up there, but the hospitalizations are going up, but it's at a smaller percentage of what it was before. So
yeah.
But now pretty much every state is to the point where they're as long as you're 16 or older, because they're still figuring out on kids, but most states are now, if you're 16 or older, you can
have it done.
Get a vaccination if you can get scheduled and have a vaccination. So
Europe is closing down. I mean, Italy's shut down all over Easter.
For what, another 2 weeks or something like that?
Yeah. It's bad in Europe because the European Union has taken so long to vaccinate. Some of those countries have only done like 5% of the population.
Wow.
Did they close the borders?
No, this is what they're doing. They're putting restrictions on people coming in because, if you come over, you're going to have to stay in a hotel for 10 days, and it depends what country you come from.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to pay as well. It's really expensive.
Yeah.
Hundreds of pounds you got to pay for your accommodation and your food. You're not allowed to leave. You got to stay there for 10 days and get tested before they let you go amongst the population.
Oh, man. So most of the UK has been. What percentage of adults have been vaccinated there?
I think they said something like 31 million have been vaccinated so far with it, at least one jab.
Okay.
Right. I think the aim was to do it by the end of July, but of course Europe's kicking off about not having enough vaccine, so they're trying to stop vaccines coming in from Europe to us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. First they say it don't work, but now they want it.
Yeah, well, they did that for 2 weeks or so, and they didn't say it. They said it didn't work. That was for about a month or so. And
Yeah.
now everything stopped. Yeah, I don't understand.
There seems to be some kind of conspiracy with France and Germany. First of all, the French president said that it doesn't work in people over 65. And then there was no scientific reason for him to say that. And even the European pharmaceutical people go, it's nonsense. It works okay. You know, it's effective. And so he had to apologize in the end. And he actually said that I'm actually going to have it, you know, himself, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, of course, when that all died down, now it says it gives you blood clots and you die. You know, because 30 people out of, I don't know, 17 million
Had it.
developed a blood clot. But they're saying like they could have developed blood clots anyway.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean it was caused by the vaccine. It would have, you know, so, and they haven't.
You take 30 people out of millions of people who have been vaccinated, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's such a tiny, tiny, tiny percentage. Yeah, I know. Here in the U.S., I think they're up to, they've said 150 million people. I think, is that right, James? It's over 100 million people have had at least one vaccine.
Yeah.
And so they're hoping to get to 200 million people with at least one vaccine by May, I think.
Yeah.
We're doing about 3 million people a day right now.
It's good, yeah, because over here they were hitting their target was 1 million a day.
Okay, yeah.
To do it. But yeah, I don't know. It just seems really weird because the infection rate in this country is coming down everywhere.
Yep.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it is. It's coming down a lot here. There's little spikes, and it's mostly among young people who haven't been vaccinated yet, and they're the ones that are generally going to be not paying as much attention to social distancing and all that anyway. So, but I don't know I think the hospitalization rates haven't gone up as much proportionately as it had when older people were getting infected. So.
I think it's the Belgian government now has joined in the thing saying that they don't want it. They don't want our vaccine. Yeah.
Now, most of European is doing AstraZeneca. Is that what it is?
No, it's Pfizer, isn't it? The Europeans.
I don't know. Which one did you have? Did you have Pfizer or did you have AstraZeneca?
Yeah, AstraZeneca Oxford vaccine developed with the Oxford University.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. AstraZeneca is made here and it's made in Belgium, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, because they wanted to seize the supplies destined for the UK because they're not getting enough. But the UK pointed out that when it all kicked off, it was the UK government that funded millions and millions of research for the AstraZeneca company. And it was a British owned company as well.
Yeah.
So they did that, and the Belgians were asked if they wanted to, if they paid towards it, and they said no, they didn't pay anything. But now they reckon they got some right that we shouldn't be getting all the vaccine, and they should get it.
Yeah, that's the challenge now is how to make sure everybody gets it that needs it, but. Like you said, the British government funded millions and millions of dollars for the development, just like the U.S. government funded probably billions of dollars for Pfizer and Moderna.
I think the UK funded the US as well. Part of it, I think they poured millions of pounds into these companies to develop an effective vaccine. So, it's all right for Germany and France and all the rest of them. They go like, you're taking the vaccines and we haven't got enough.
Yeah. Now, are you fully vaccinated, James? You had your second one?
Yeah, in February I had my second one.
Okay, Moderna, right?
No, Pfizer.
Pfizer? Okay, all right. I had the first one of Moderna last week, so I go back in 2.5 weeks to get the second one of Moderna. So.
Yeah, I've got 23rd of this month for my second one.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
23rd. Okay. Friday.
Yeah, I don't know. So they give you a little card like this.
Yeah, I think that's the same day as yeah, I think that's the same day, Friday the 23rd.
So this would be my passport to go in a pub.
Okay. Did they check and see if you've been? They need to see proof of vaccination before you go in.
Well, that's what the big debate is now, because
Yeah.
you've got the ones who are going, it's against your human rights in it, and it's going to be people who don't want the vaccine. You know, but it's up to the guy who owns the business, isn't it? They
Yeah,
got
for private. It's
use
a private. You know, there was a story here about a guy. He took his family to Disney World. You know, and he paid supposedly all this money to take us. You know, Disney's expensive, so he said he paid $15,000 for his trip. And when you go into Disney World, they do they want to do, you know, temperature check, you know, scan, and
Yeah.
he ignored it and blew past the temperature check thing and then went into the park. And then they came in a couple hours later, caught up with him and had him arrested for missing. And he's saying, you can't do that. I paid all this money for the trip. And they're saying, no, sir, we have rules. And it's our rule that you've got to test negative, you know, you've got to pass the temperature check. And he ignored it. He didn't want to get it. So like, well,
what happened to him?
he's been arrested they arrested him for trespassing because
You paid the
you know, their rule is you have to pass the temperature check before you can go onto the Disney property. And if you bypass the temperature check, then you're trespassing.
And I wonder what the big thing is. I mean, say it's nothing. I went to have a haircut once, right? A few months ago. They did the temperature check and mine came up too high. Said, sorry, we're not letting you in. And I said, oh, okay. What happened was I was on a walk from my house, and I used to do it every day anyway, but I just happened to go to the hairdressers. Because of my walk, it made my body hot. They couldn't let me in.
Yeah.
I said, that's okay. I'll go for another. I'll come back later on.
Yeah, it's, you know, that, I mean, it's better than nothing, I guess, but having a temperature check is probably meaningless 95% of the time. Yeah. So,
You don't see them doing it now. I haven't seen anybody do temperatures for a while.
well, actually, I had mine done yesterday. I ran a running race, and it was put on by the local track club, and you had to wear a mask when you were in the event area and at the starting line, and then you could take the mask off once you started running. But you had to go into the venue, and they did a temperature check, and then you got a little band, you know, around your wrist saying you. And they said in a little email they sent out, we recommend that you don't warm up for the race before you have your temperature check, because of that, you know, because if you're running around warming up, you're going to get warm, which means you probably will fail the temperature check.
Are you allowed to sing in church?
Huh? I don't know.
Yeah,
I guess most churches are.
Well, most churches have a band that's on the stage before the service starts.
Yeah. So.
Not over here. No singing in church. No singing in schools. I think that's going to be banned as well after Easter. Kids can't sing in the schools.
Yeah.
Yeah, but some kids don't want to sing anyway.
No, it's like when we went to school. I always dodged the singing bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have a school song? Is that what you had to sing?
Oh yeah. Can you remember our school song? We went to the same school. Yeah.
Okay.
I remember the ABC one at the movie theatre.
Oh, well, that's Saturday Morning Pictures. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rutherford's song. Rutherford's. Was it Rutherford, my pride, my glory? I will ever strive to be upright, honest, manly, kindly, dedicated, true to thee. I remember the words.
Oh wow! See, it made an impact on you.
Yeah.
Already.
Yeah. I think the music master wrote it and done the music for it. Yeah, there's a school song. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But the school's now a Muslim academy, so it's something about Arabics.
Probably not the same song. Probably
It's not the same song anymore. You know,
Yeah.
swear allegiance to the king.
Yeah. Well, let's take a look at these images here. We got only a few, but we should take a look at them because I know James has got his HDR.
Well, I haven't got
Now, did you assist with this one, Dennis, or not?
No, he assisted with me. He
Okay.
did.
All right. Let's see. So this was the last one from last time. Yeah, this was your shot, James. Of the taken with your iPhone. We're talking about how
Yeah.
phones are taking over the digital camera. So there you go.
Brother-in-law, I just took the picture.
Yep. And that's why all those companies are going out of business. So, okay, here's Jose again. Now this looks like a real background. I don't think this is a
Yeah, to
subject.
be honest with you, like Jose never comes on, does he?
No.
I don't favour him. I don't bother with his.
No. If he doesn't come on the show, then that's sorry.
About your pictures, if you can't come on, what's the point of talking about him?
Yeah, he never replies to anything, does he? I don't know if he watches it afterwards, does he? Or is he
I don't know.
using the forum as
I don't see any. Yeah, I don't see any comments. To the.
yeah.
I think it's probably just gotten in the habit of posting it to this group along with the other groups that he posted to. So he posted 53 groups. So.
All right. Yeah.
But
is he a fave hunter then?
maybe he might be.
Yeah.
But this was so this was taken at 934 minutes. Okay, so pretty much full.
Well, if he's only put it in 50 groups, he needs to get in contact with Simi.
Yeah. Become a professional group submitter.
Yeah, 100 groups at least, the minimum.
Yeah. And that's kind of neat. I like the rule of thirds. So he's got three subjects in there. It's kind of got kind of in each. Yeah, that's neat. Pelicans are neat birds. Yeah,
they do like they're pasted on though.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Snowy egret. This was taken. Where was this taken? Probably California, I'm sure. Doesn't say. And this was okay. So now I think you need to buy this lens. It'll fit on your camera, Dennis, right? Yeah, you've got the Sony.
What's he got? 200, 300?
200 to 600.
Yeah. It's a couple of
yeah. A couple $1,000, I'm sure, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a neat one. I like that. He's doing a good job with the bird photography. This one is neat. I like this, picking the all the mussels. I guess that's what they are. Mussels or snails on the rock. At low tide, I'm assuming. You must be, yeah. That's a neat one. I like that one. That's a neat. And he's not substituting out the background here. This one looks like a real background again. Let's see. That's a pretty good sized tide there. I mean, the water looks pretty low, and these have to be underwater, I would think, in order to survive. So, what is that? Is that a bug? Now it looks like a piece of something. I don't know. Interesting. Who knows?
Sure, we could have. Where's his been photography in the game?
Yeah. This is alligator photography 101. Now this is, let's see. This was okay, so he used full zoom on this. I was waiting to see, the 150 instead of the 600 millimeter. So he's using the full smart man. This was taken April Fools on April 1st. Along the trail. Okay, so maybe the alligator was crossing the trail.
So does he crop this?
Probably a little bit, yeah. I would bet. Those teeth don't look too sharp. No worries.
I'll let you go test it.
Yeah.
Let me know how you feel.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Yeah, see, at least we can ask Wes.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. He will be on at some point, and will be able to answer the hard questions. Is it a real background or not?
Yeah, I think it's a real background. Yeah,
Yeah, I think it
I
is.
think it's a toy alligator looking mean.
yeah.
That's
Yeah, I suppose if you got a stuffed alligator and you could stick it in front of the camera.
yeah. Now I've been down here. We went down and visited Wes a few years ago, and I've been to this part, and I can attest that yes, there are alligators there. So this is I have seen the alligators with my own eyes swimming around in the water there. There's a lot of them too. There definitely are.
Does he live in a nice area?
Yeah, I mean Gainesville's a nice. It's a college town. It's a college town. So when we were down there, he lived in a different part of town. They were renting a house. Now they own a house. I don't think it's too far from where they were living before. I mean, it's a relatively small town. I don't know what the population of Gainesville is. Maybe 50, 60,000. And then much more obviously when school's in session. But yeah.
Gainesville, isn't that where Superman lived?
Oh, he lived in Metropolis.
Oh, right. I thought that's where he worked.
Yeah.
That's
No,
where
he worked in Gotham. Did he work? No, no, it wasn't Gotham. Where did he work?
that's Batman, Gotham.
That's
isn't it?
Batman. Yeah, Gotham. I don't know. I'm a little lacking on my Superman knowledge. I'm sorry.
Next thing you're going to tell me it's not real.
No, I think I had posted a picture of it a few years ago, but when we drive from here up to Chicago, you go by one of the routes, you go by Metropolis, Illinois, and their big claim to fame is the giant Superman statue. So you see billboards on the highway for 50 miles before you get there. Go to see the giant Superman statue. So we did. You got to get off the road and going down to the little county road to the town, and sure enough, there's a giant 10-foot tall Superman. So it's not really giant; it's slightly large. I think it was false advertising. A giant, I was figuring, it'd be 50, 60 feet tall, but yeah. But no, Gainesville's a nice town. It's hot. I mean, it's Florida. It's hot, but it's not as hot as you get in the middle of Florida. So.
No. Well, at least I can say that when I visited Disney in Florida that I've been to Cinderella's castle. Seen quite a few castles in my time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You've seen the real castles, not
real castles, yeah, including Cinderella's, yeah.
Now, have you seen any Cinderellas in all those castles, Dennis?
Oh, there's plenty there. Yeah, we got plenty.
Okay.
So
All right, James. So this is your HDR. What did you do to it?
Well, what I did is when I first took the picture, I wanted that section that I've got, right? But I had to change lenses. So I cropped it and cropped it and cropped it. And I thought, I like this picture. So then I changed lenses and took the picture again, but zoomed in closer to get this picture so I didn't have to crop.
Okay.
So I only cropped a little bit.
So you'd used, so you 45 millimeter, you just got closer to it then?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you zoomed with your feet.
A lot more cropping. I still cropped a little bit.
Yeah, that's the 90 on his camera though, Mark.
Yeah, that's true. It is. Yep. 45 is a 90, which is a good portrait focal length.
He is good. That's a really good lens he's got there. It's one of the better Micro Four Third lenses.
No, it is a good lens.
Well, I did everything else, and then I asked Dennis to do the frame for me.
Okay, so you did the frame, and then so you did what, three exposures?
Yeah.
Did you blend it in Lightroom or did you blend it in GIMP?
In Lightroom.
In Lightroom, okay. Because they have an HDR mode, right?
It's real easy. Really easy.
You just pick them and then do an HDR blend or whatever they call it.
You go photo, HDR, click, it does it. It says view it, you view it. But the other thing is, if you do it in the camera, it's got HDR1 and HDR2.
Mm-hmm.
They do both take 4 shots each, and then in the camera make it an JPEG. so you then have to do it in Lightroom.
Okay.
Yeah. Wasn't this a JPEG you sent me?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what I done, I stuck it in Darktable,
Okay.
and I added a Velvia film simulation to it.
Okay. All right. To bump up the saturation a little bit, and yeah.
I cropped it slightly, but not as much as my cousin does.
Mm-hmm.
When he saw my first crop on my first take, he said, "What the fuck have you done here?"
James, your nickname is the Cropper.
It is a chainsaw massacre.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, I want to see the best part of the picture. I don't want to see redundant stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd say that the original picture he took with a 50mm equivalent lens
Mm-hmm.
was this bit was probably 1/10 of his micro four thirds sensor.
Okay.
It was just right in the middle, you know. I thought,
Okay. Yeah.
but
The picture.
you got much better background using that 90mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so is this just a plant sitting in a pot near a window, basically?
Yeah, in my sunroom.
Okay.
It's got all long stems and leaves on it, but I
Mhm.
wasn't interested in that. I just wanted this part because if you look at that root and that, it looks like it's got eyes.
Yep. It does. Yeah. It kind of reminds me, these little things on the stem kind of remind me of the tips of the peacock feathers. You know, the peacock feathers kind of have those little eyes on the tip of them. That's what this kind of reminds me of. But yeah, I mean, it's it's some kind of succulent, right? Cactus or something like that.
Yeah, don't they cut the leaves off and then new ones grow and then it gradually becomes a big tree type plant?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've had it a few years and I just cut them off when they need to be taken away.
Yeah. But no, that's neat because you got all the detail of the stem and then the leaves. Yeah, that's a nice, and the light's great, very good light. So what benefit did you get with the HDR or what do you think the benefit was of the HDR?
More saturated.
Okay. And through the shadows, do you get more detail back in
Yeah, when I look
shadow
at
part?
them individually, there's a lot of differences between them, so it's a good range.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we increase the shadows.
But
You
then,
increase the shadows on this one, definitely.
yeah.
Because it was very dark, the first one, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm used to seeing when people say HDR, I'm looking at them, thinking of HDRs. It's so blown out and so vibrant, and it's like it hits you in the face. Well, this one's not. It's more smooth.
No, you can use the HDR is good for bringing out the details, but yeah, a lot of HDR. Well, there's a group on Flickr. I think it's called Bad HDR or whatever, and people describe bad HDR as like clown vomit. Just like a clown vomited on the picture and just all the colors all over the place.
Yeah. I'll tell you what else I've done on this one. I used that haze filter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because as soon as you apply the haze filter, it seems to like bring up the contrast and
Okay.
yeah, you when you click it, you can actually see it change it. It doesn't change it drastically, but things.
So I wonder what it changes. Local contrast? I don't
Yeah,
know.
it'd be the local contrast because the leaves definitely change, like the stem.
Okay.
Yeah. And of course, sharpen it up as well.
Yep. No, it's a nice still life image. I like it. Nice colors.
I
Nice
like
light.
reflecting stuff on things I take and that. But I don't know if you could put me in the middle and I'll show you the plant.
Yeah, the frame.
Oh, okay.
Dude, can you see it?
Let's stop the share here. Stop the share. Stop the steal. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, so you can see how much he cropped it.
Wow. Okay. So yeah, so you just cropped it down just to that. Yeah, just at the base of the leaves, basically. Yeah. Okay.
Well, I find that makes a more interesting story.
Yeah. No.
Thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a big difference between just taking a picture of the plant and then focusing in on the part that you find most interesting about the plant.
My neighbor came over the yesterday or something, and I told her about it, and I said, "Look at this plant. How would you take a framing of a picture of that plant?" She goes, "Oh, I'll do it from the top to the bottom." I showed her my one, like what you see on here. I said, "What about this?" She goes, "Wow, I would never have thought of doing that."
Yeah. And that's the
Is that
difference.
for it?
Yeah. Let me see here. I think there's a group called Bad HDR. Yeah. Here you go. Like this. Let's find like that one. There you go. See, this is what I'm talking about. This kind of thing. Look at that.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, Neo.
Yeah.
You can't say that's HDR, can you?
Man, you can't. I mean, the sky. I mean, it doesn't show as well on the screen as it does on the monitor. Yeah,
Well, you just go into saturation, just slide the slider as far as
but look at the little halos around the railing here.
Yeah,
and it's just there's all vignetting. I mean, it's just bad. And you go back.
Clown vomit. Yeah.
Yep, clown vomit. This one. Here you go. Whoa. Bad HDR.
See, that's confusing.
Yeah, this was taken in April. This was uploaded in April 2008. So this was right when HDR was becoming a thing.
There was a lot of people were doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize how bloody ugly it was.
Yeah, you can. I mean, you can just go crazy with it. Yeah, you just so.
Well, I took a picture on HDR this week after he's talking about HDR. I said I've never done it, and I had to switch my camera to HDR to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And it done it okay, but I took the same picture then with the Voigtlander 50mm.
Mm-hmm.
A single picture, wide open at f1.2, and it gives such a better picture.
Yeah. Now, there are ways to use HDR, but you can use it without it being obtrusive, I guess.
Well, I watched this video on HDR, like software and that, and it says they were using Lightroom, Photomatix, and Aurora.
Okay.
And after doing the testing, they found that Aurora had a bug in it because you look, it was in this room, in this kitchen area, and you see the chairs. Along the edge of the chair, it was not focused. It was off focus.
Okay.
They switched it on when they went back to the software and did some switching on it, right? And went back, it was okay. But they had to fix the bug first. But otherwise, the Lightroom one was pretty good.
Yeah. No, I'd say for just basic HDR, yeah, the Lightroom, when I've used it for HDR was pretty good, and that was a couple years ago. That's the last time I did anything HDR in Lightroom, and it worked good. So I'm sure it's probably better now.
Yeah,
probably.
So this I started HDR this week. I'll have to find another subject for this for next week.
Yeah, no. Try a landscape in HDR. That was what I found worked pretty well for landscape, because that way you could get the detail on both the front and the back. But you had to be careful. You could get it to look just terrible really fast. But
yeah, I did it at the front of my house, and it looked pretty good. You see, you build up, you put different images, frames, and that, and then you see the final one. It looked good.
Yeah. No,
what's HDR used for? Is it deliberately trying to destroy a reasonable photograph?
It brings all the ranges in. I mean,
it's supposed to be increase the dynamic range,
right?
By taking underexpose, overexpose, and then taking the best parts of each image, and so yeah, you can easily destroy, like you said, Dennis. You can easily destroy a perfectly good photo very quickly.
But I was going to be outside of my house, right? And I did it on HDR2, which means it takes photographs, then puts them together in the camera and creates a JPEG. When I look at that and look at the other one, it looks really nice.
Okay.
But it's not oversaturated like the ones you just showed. These are nice pictures.
Yeah. Yep. So it's a subtle. Yeah. It's not over the top oversaturated.
Between the first picture and the last picture, it looked very nice.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that was out as well.
I took a picture of a flower using the HDR setting on the Sony, and it came out really soft. It was the defocused areas were really rubbish compared with just a single shot of the flower itself.
Okay. So you took it with the Sony and it automatically combined the images in the camera to create the final?
Yeah, it gave me a JPEG, yeah.
So I would, is there an HDR mode in Darktable or GIMP? I don't know.
I should think there is.
Yeah, so the next one would be to take that flower, those 3 images,
yeah,
and do the HDR conversion yourself and see what you can get. Because if you use a software outside of the camera, it would probably be even better if you used it.
Yeah. I think there was one called Hugin or Huggin. It will join. It will stack. It's a stacker. That's it. You can put up to, I don't know, 10 photographs in it, and the computer will stack them all together, which is the same kind of. Then I suppose at the end you just up the saturation.
Now, when you stack photos, what are you? I know it goes all photos go to one area, but what is the reason for stacking?
The stacking one I was using, when I read about it, it said that it takes all the sharp areas of all the photographs and combines only the sharpness into the final picture. So you can take a picture, focus on the foreground, the middle, the background. You can focus in all different areas, and when you use this stacker, it took only the sharp parts out of anything what was defocused. It just didn't do anything with it. You know, it just sharpened up everything throughout the background.
Yeah, so you get a very sharp depth of field front to back.
Yeah, it's the same as using a large format camera, basically. You know,
probably. Yeah.
Yeah,
it is probably pretty close. So I mean, yeah, they do a lot of focus stacking in macro photography.
Yes,
because the depth of field is so minuscule on macro that the way to get the whole image to come out sharp is you gotta slice it. And I think you were playing around with that a year or so, Dennis. Didn't you do like 40 or 50 images or something and try to stack them all together?
I stacked 10 flowers on top of each other as well, wasn't it? Yeah, and I did focus the front petals of the flower. Obviously, the back ones at wide open at f1.2. The back ones were really soft. So then I focused right into the flower. Then I done the first set of petals, and then the next set. And I stacked them together, and it gave a really good, sharp picture. So it's the same, like you're saying, with macro, because of the thin layer of depth of field. Then
the only way to get it sharp throughout the subject is you gotta stack a bunch of images and then only take the best part of each depth of field, the sharpest, and then it combines it together.
It's a lot of effort though, because I could get just as good of an effect by putting the 50mm 1.2 on wide open.
Yeah.
And staying back a bit, you know, and then taking a picture of the whole flower, then crop it. Because frame camera, you can crop without getting it too soft. You know?
Yeah. You've got enough pixels left over to still have a good image when you're done.
And then of course I've got the medium format and large format to play with as well. So
Yep.
Those are ways of doing it.
Yeah. Well, I think mainly the focus stacking has really got the major use for that is going to be the macro photography, because there's really no way to get around it. You know, on the macro, you've got to, you can't, you know, with other non-macro stuff, you can accomplish the same thing a couple of different ways, like you were saying, Dennis. But with macro, you've got to have a special lens, and even then, the depth of field is still so minuscule.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen the macro cameras. They're closed right down. They're like f22. Try and get a bit more depth of field when you're that close.
Yeah, that's the challenge. So focus stacking makes a big difference there.
I think focus stacking works better because you can use the lens wide open.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to get all your defocused background still, but you're only going to get the sharp bits on the subject.
Yep. So you need to do focus.
Is that taking multiple pictures, different pictures, or just one?
Yeah. I took 10 pictures of the same flower. With the camera was on a tripod, and all I did was adjust the focusing as I went through. You can only do it with lenses what don't extend out, because that changes the perspective.
Yeah, the perspective changes. So you need an internal focusing lens.
One where the elements move inside the lens, so you're not actually changing the perspective.
Are you saying you need a prime lens then?
Oh yeah. I've only got prime lenses. Yeah, I haven't got zoom lenses.
Yeah. So
you'll always get a sharper picture with a prime lens than you will with a zoom.
Yeah. But you could get away with it using an internal zoom lens. You could get away with it. But if you were using a zoom lens that extended the lens, then it's not going to work because it's going to change the perspective. It'll never match up.
Some lenses, when you turn them, they extend out mechanically, don't they? And that's what changes the perspective of the pictures changes. So you can't stack that. It's not going to do that.
You've got to keep the distance the same, basically, and then focus at the different points from that. Yeah. So
it's good experiment. That's
do that on my 45mm.
What was that?
Could I do the stacking on my 45? Because that's all it is, 45.
Yeah, 45. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, all you do is you focus on the front of the subject, then the middle, the back. So you can take 10 shots of a flower. So
just adjust the focus. That's it.
Just adjusting the focus, right? Yeah. Because the blurred out background is going to remain the same.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're just changing the points of where you're focusing on. Then the computer will stack them all together, and you should end up with perfectly sharp whole flower. But
with the background still blurred. Yeah.
I might try that. That's 2 things I want to try this week. Actually,
it would work on portraits as well, but the subject would have to stay pretty still, wouldn't they? You'd have to.
Yeah, that would be hard. Yeah. Still life is better.
It'd be like the old days with the large format when they stood because they only had like 25 ISO film.
They put them in frames.
Yeah, they screwed the geezer's head to the back of the chair so he can't move. And he had to stay there for 5 minutes.
Yeah. It took so long. Well, you look at some of those early photographs, from the 1850s, 1860s. Yeah. It's amazing that they came out as good as they did. Really.
The Wild West.
Yeah, Wild West. Or I've been, civil photographs from the Civil War, American Civil War, that type of thing. And wow,
all that dodgy chemicals, all that collodion glass plates.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing that they came out at all, really, when you think about it. So some very talented photographers. Yeah,
what's the life expectancy of a photographer in them days? With all that.
Probably not too long. Yeah. Kind of like the hat maker, the crazy hat maker inhaling all those mercury fumes, right? Isn't that what they used to use to set the brim? Was mercury or something?
Yeah.
The that's how you got the Mad Hatter. I mean, they just go crazy inhaling all that mercury. So yeah, probably the same thing. They weren't wearing respirators. I guarantee you that.
Yeah, there's no health and safety in them days.
No, there was no oversight. You just did what you did, and if you survived, then it worked. If you didn't die, then you could go back and try it again the next day.
Yeah, I know I'm getting old, but I've never had to stick the magnesium powder on top of the thing and then light it.
Yeah. Yep. The old school flash.
Yeah, the old flash. Yeah.
Yep.
Puff of smoke.
Yep. Okay. Hey, good show, gentlemen. We'll be back 2 weeks, so it'll be the 18th. So I'll give you 2 weeks, James, for you to practice. So we expect full HDR knowledge as well as focus stacking in 2 weeks.
Okay.
You're going to go focus stacking then, yeah.
Okay. We're good. All right. Hey, have a good one. Appreciate you showing up.
Don't go wrong.
And let's get some sleep, huh? All right.
I'll see you.
All right, take care.
Bye now. Bye.
Bye.